Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
And welcome to the 11th episode of Criminality, the podcast where we don't feel judged about our love of reality. We just embrace it, and we embrace these people that bring it to us. And I don't think that's our tagline, but I just started. And if you want to change it up a little bit, that's where I landed. Rebekah, how are you?
I'm great. Yeah, we embrace it. We celebrate it. Melissa,
I like
here to celebrate.
Celebrating good times with crime. Come on.
Yeah, there's enough of them. We're just getting started, but 11 is pretty cool.
It is. I'm as surprised as you are. No, it's going really well. We always end up talking to each other throughout the week and texting and saying there's just so much you don't really know what direction to head into. And there's always more, like literally every single day. There was New Jersey Shore news this week. There's always Girardi news. So it's just all the time. We cannot keep up.
We cannot keep up. We had Britney conservatorship
oh my
updates,
goodness.
Which isn't necessarily reality, but it's pop culture. We're including her.
She had a show. So chaotic.
Oh my gosh,
with
of course
Britney
she
and
did.
Kevin.
And
yeah.
Thank you for stating that on the record.
I think that was either WGN, UB, one of those channels. Like
yeah.
Channel 6. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, but it's been like an endless, just coming at us from all sides.
Yes.
Pretty
so
crazy.
The people that just are interested in crime stuff are finally realizing this world of reality exists where we have all these dumpster fires all the time, and it keeps us endlessly entertained. Rebekah, how was your week?
It was good. It was a busy one. My daughter graduated from high school on Friday.
So exciting.
It is exciting. So there's just all of everything that goes with that. And, coming off of a year plus of COVID, it felt really saturated and busy in a way that we haven't felt in a while.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm completely wrecked. But it was really lovely, amazing that her grade got together and had a ceremony together because they haven't been all together since March of 2020. So it was actually very profound and beautiful to see all the kids together.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
And I would like to say again, for the record, you do not look like you could possibly have children that are in high school, have graduated high school. It's a lot for me to take in, but I want your skincare regime.
You're so
or your filters, whichever one.
It's smoke and mirrors, Melissa. Smoke and mirrors. But yeah, I am in fact old enough, and I feel it. Oh my God, I'm so tired.
But you don't look it. That's what counts,
dude,
right?
Let's be real. Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Not what's inside that counts. It's the outside.
I would take that the way you're saying it any day of the week. But you had a beautiful week too. I saw a lovely picture that you sent me of the gorgeous water.
Yes, my family and I went with some friends to Siesta Key. It's near Sarasota, so it's not like Florida Keys, which is what I even thought when I first heard about it.
Me too.
Beautiful white sand, crystal clear water, just unbelievable. But the really cool thing is, here's our reality connection. There is a show on MTV called Siesta Key. Rebekah, are you familiar with it?
I am not.
I'm not either, but I know it exists. And when we were there on the last evening, both my kids got like the crud. And so nobody was really happy, but I was like, we have to see the sunset one night. Let's go see the sunset. So as we start walking towards the beach, we realized that lots of people are walking to the beach. And I think, what a cool community. Everyone just wants to see
It's all about the sunset, I'm sure.
over the Atlantic. Yeah. Turns out they were taping something, and I personally think it has to be Siesta Key. Why else would they be there? I mean, it's just beautiful background, the boom mics and the cameras. And I'm trying to get into a picture with my hand up, kind of like I did with the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. But my husband has yet to learn how to do it where it looks like I'm holding the people in the cast.
Uh-huh.
Why would I want to look like I'm holding the people in the cast? I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hand in photos.
It's a power move. It's a power move.
It was a total, but they're like 4 inches to the side. And then of course, like as we leave, I'm like taking pictures. My husband's like, I said, should I like try and walk in the water? He's like, absolutely not. Your children are here. And there's something chilling about hearing your children are here. Just thinking of the possible trauma I could be causing them. So
Remember
I got
that
it together.
time? Yeah.
I got it together. We left and they were all packing up. So I got I'll have to send you the selfie I got because it's truly the worst photo I've ever taken of myself. But you can see all their setup and stuff. And then I was Googling to see who I recognize. And I think I recognize one person, but also I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the show, but I know they're filming now. So
That
I
sounds
possibly
like it.
had a reality run-in.
I think you did. I think that's so cool that you were, aware of it, of that show existing.
Yeah, that's about
but
it.
it makes sense that you were there. And I have no doubt that that's what was happening. That's very, very cool.
It is. Or it was just, weird MTV real life I eat sand or something was going on. One of those two things was going on.
I mean, anything's possible, but I'm going with Siesta Key, and I think it's super cool timing that you were there.
Yeah, but you know what is crazy? And you see all this stuff all the time living where you live, but where you see all these cameras and people around, and then on the peripheral, all the people standing around, and you're thinking, how are these people just acting natural? And I don't understand it. I was self-conscious and I was just holding them in my hands for a picture.
Do you mean the crew or the extras, or what do you mean?
The people that were actually in the show. So they're just talking to each other, and I'm thinking, do you not see all these cameras? Because I do. Do you see this idiot woman trying to hold you in a photo? There's a lot going on, and they're just talking and surfing.
Nonchalant. Yeah. It's interesting, right? I mean, that is something you would need to possess to be on camera, is the ability to act like it's not on you if you're on reality TV.
Right.
So I don't know if we have futures in that.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I don't. But Rebekah, this week we are getting into a new story this week. I hope you'll enjoy it. I
always do.
Oh, good. Well, I was just going to sit there in silence until you would give me a compliment.
I promise I will.
So the 3 clues that I gave last week were Rose, The Apprentice, and Bandana. Mm-hmm. So, Rebekah, you know who we're talking about this week, right?
I do, but I got really shamed on Instagram for not knowing immediately.
I saw that.
And I was like, well, look, first of all, it happens really fast. I'm aware of dead air. And if you don't know right away, the sound of someone thinking and trying to remember something is terrible. Or talking while you're actively trying to remember. So I panicked. Okay. I was overthinking and then I panicked. But obviously we are talking about, what's his name? Bret.
Yes. What's his name is who we're talking about this. So I think we'd all agree that 2020 was a pretty weird year, right, Rebekah?
Glad it's over.
Yes. So when I say that 2020 brought in our lives a human man dressed as a banana singing Knocking on Heaven's Door, you'd probably nod and say, yeah, that seems right.
It does.
Now, what if I told you that same man sang this song in front of the world on the 10th anniversary of a terrible accident that he claimed nearly killed him? The plot thickens.
Yeah, I'd still believe it.
And finally, what if I said this same banana man was my uncle?
Stop.
Okay, that last one's a lie.
I knew it.
But the rest of it's true. And this week, we are here to discuss the man, the banana, the bandana banana man, Bret Michaels, and the accident that occurred in 2010 that almost took away his dreams of one day being on a show that I still can't believe is real, The Masked Singer.
Oh my gosh, what a ride that was. Just the setup.
Bandana Banana Man. I'm so excited.
So fun. Our new show mascot.
There you go. So Bret Michaels' first foray into the reality TV genre didn't begin with The Masked Singer. Nay, many of us knew him from his time on VH1's hit reality show of yesteryear called Rock of Love with Bret Michaels, which ran for 2 seasons before morphing into Rock of Love Bus with Bret Michaels.
Wow.
Take this crazy show on the road. Years later, he would go on to star in Bret Michaels, Life as I Know It. And this show, it showed more of his softer, more domestic side. And we loved a well-placed colon on this show. He's involved in several colon-related activities. By that, I mean shows and books and stuff. And he even had a run on a season of Celebrity Apprentice where he actually came in first place. I remember watching that season. Yeah, he really wanted everyone to be his friend. And I think he thought they were all his friend, but I never got that vibe. And it was kind of sad, but I enjoyed it. And then he also was on the Celebrity Apprentice All-Stars where he came in last place. So, yeah, you win some, you lose some really hard. And that's not all of it, but at some point, we have to get to the story, Rebekah. But just know that basically, Bret Michaels is sort of a reality superstar, and for that, we owe him so much.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
it was so prolific, his reality career.
Rebekah, I'm going to blow your mind so much in this. I had to stop myself from texting you as I found new information just to be able to present it to you today. So who exactly is Bret Michaels besides the man that very likely has a bandana sewn into his skull and one of the stars of Sharknado 5, global swarming?
Oh, wow. That's clever. That's clever.
I like it. Bret Michaels was born Bret Michael Sychik. I have searched the internet for pronunciations. And
wait, it definitely sounds like you're saying side chick.
Oh, that would make sense, but it's Sychak. And when you go online and you look in pronunciations,
yes,
it told me 7 different ways, and one of them was side chick. So I'm just going with Bret Michaels is who we know, right?
Of course.
He was born in Butler, Pennsylvania on March 15th, 1963. When he was just 6 years old, he became very ill and landed in the hospital for several weeks. And by the end of this day, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which he says has always made him a tougher person. His time on Celebrity Apprentice, that was what he was working for, raising money for diabetes, for the American Diabetes Association. And I believe one of his daughters also has diabetes as well. Bret was always a very big personality and lover of music. He began playing music and eventually formed a band with one of his longtime friends, Ricky Rocket. I don't know that was his God-given name. It does not sound like it to me. These two would be the original singers and members of the band Paris. Have you heard of the band Paris?
I regret to say I have not.
Okay, me neither. But apparently they were a thing at some point. So this band plays around Pittsburgh, and eventually they move off to Los Angeles. But not before adding a bassist named Bobby Dow and another guitarist named Matt Smith. And they had Bret as the lead singer and guitarist. Eventually, Matt Smith would be replaced with C.C. DeVille. Heard of him?
Vaguely, yeah.
Right. And the band went on to change their name to, Rebekah?
The way most women kill people, poison.
Oh, wow. That was a nice setup there. I like it. So, Rebekah, when I mention the band Poison, what comes to mind?
Not a lot.
Not a lot at all. Sometimes you confuse them with different people, like Guns N' Roses, stuff like that, right? They're very 80s.
For me, they're almost interchangeable, which I know will horrify people, but it's true.
No, could be worse. So while they don't really do it for me, they certainly did it for others, because after being signed with Enigma Records, which how 80s sounding is that, they released an album in 1986 called, oh gosh, here we go, Look What the Cat Dragged In, It's Bret's Bandana Again. Hold on. I actually, whoops. I didn't put it in italics, so I didn't realize that was my own joke I wrote into there. It's just called Look What the Cat Dragged In.
Yeah, that's ringing a bell.
Yeah. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. So this album is pretty successful, thanks in part to the song Talk Dirty to Me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes. It's coming full circle for you now.
Yeah, I mean, I was not the age or demographic for this band, but
Right.
that had lasting power. I mean, that's staying power. I remember that song.
Right. So the group begins touring and starts making a lot of fans. In 1988, they released their sophomore album titled Open Up and Say ... Ah,
Yeah, I can picture that t-shirt.
which I feel like it's sexual. I don't totally get it, and I'm okay with that. So we'll just keep going.
Definitely sexual.
So this proves to be the album that would really matter. Open Up and Say Ah featured the songs Nothing But a Good Time. And of course, every
Rose
has
its corn. No, thorn. Nice tie-in to the last episode.
Totally on purpose. Did this, I'm one step ahead.
Like clockwork.
Yeah. And so this song reaches the top of the radio charts. Everyone, whether you know Poison or know who sings it or know Bret Michaels, you probably have heard of the phrase at least, right?
I mean, I know the song. Actually, this song I know completely. I would never have attributed it to Poison. I feel like such a sham right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell Bret, so I think you're okay, but...
I might have said John Bon Jovi sang it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pushing it a little bit, but
Now everybody in New Jersey is going to have my head. Okay.
Right. There you go.
Carry on.
But by 1990, things weren't so rosy within this group. Tensions are really high, and also some members of the band were as well. Things fell apart for the band in real time on one of the biggest nights of their career. So they are playing the 1990 VMAs. Do you remember when the VMAs? I was going to say
it's the VMAs.
Yes, it was everything, right? And so the group was scheduled to play their new song called Unskinny Bop, which 100% have never heard of it. No clue. Don't even understand what it means.
It's the prequel to Mbop.
Yeah, and probably sexual as well. So I watched the video, and it's very 90s. Downtown Julie Brown. Remember Downtown Julie Brown?
Yeah, of course.
And she's still on XM radio. I just love hearing her voice. Yeah, so she is announcing Poison coming on with CeCe DeVille, and he is totally out of it, plastered, out of his mind. Like, you are concerned with, you're like, oh, you're going up on stage now? This is not
yikes.
good. Yeah. So he goes on stage, he goes on with Poison, and they perform. And literally halfway through the song, Arsenio Hall he's the host of this. How 90s is this?
Yeah.
Right? And they start playing and CeCe starts playing Talk Dirty to Me in the middle of them playing Unskinny Bop.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's kind of...
It wasn't a mashup. It was like accidental.
It was pre-mashup. Yeah, it was before the benefers of,
the hybrid.
All of that. During it, Arsenio Hall actually kind of stops and is like, hey, this band doesn't really need an introduction. Poison, and tries to help them start again. Well, then CeCe's guitar gets unplugged, and if you think Poison is rough on the ears without an electric guitar, with no guitar,
oh my gosh,
it takes a turn. So it's a total nightmare, and thanks to the internet, we can all watch it on repeat.
Yeah, I'm gonna wanna.
Yeah. So this was supposed to be Poison's opportunity to really open up to a newer and younger audience, right? Instead, it's really basically the beginning of the end. Apparently, Bret and CeCe got into a fist fight after this in the back, and CeCe was officially fired from the band. So you know how like bands fire people and then they go on to win like awards and sell millions of records all the time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, didn't happen for them either. They kind of started doing like blues music after CeCe left. Do you remember any of their blues shit?
No.
Poison did blues music.
Didn't remember that.
Feel like they tried to forget about it, but it's out there. I did not listen to it, but yes, it's there. But Bret Michaels and his bandana were still in our hearts, of course. And apparently VH1 thought so too, because fresh off the success of Flavor of Love, we got Rock of Love with Bret Michaels. So the show's creators were Chris Abrigo and Mark Cronin. And while you may not recognize their names, you'll likely know their company, 51 Minds, or at the very least, the shows they did, which I'm talking, there's like 70 shows. Charm School, For the Love of Ray J.
Oh, wow.
Gotti's Way, My Fair Brady, which was very much a favorite of mine. Below Deck.
Oh, my gosh.
Right? We owe them so much. And Frank the Entertainer in A Basement Affair. I forgot that was a thing, but VH1 was running out of content there for a while. So the show debuts in June of 2007, and the premise is pretty simple. 25 women compete for the heart of one eligible bachelor. And put a pin in that eligible part because we're going to come back to that later.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So we heard about The Bachelor last week. Rebekah did an amazing job explaining it to us and telling us everything we would ever need to know about that sort of a show. So we don't need to explain a lot about the world of dating shows. So this is sort of sold as a Bachelor, but rock and roll kind of show. And instead of a rose, you get a backstage pass and possibly some True Religion bedazzled jeans.
Hey. Around what time period are we talking?
2007.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry, I missed that. Yes, 2007. So Bret's there. There's no host, officially a host, but there is Big John, who is his bodyguard for some reason. He's kind of in between Bret and, I know what he wants. I know what he looks for. I normally pull the girls for him at his concert, which I definitely believe is a thing that he did. But I don't understand the need for a bodyguard when these women are 100 pounds soaking wet. They are just teeny tiny things. So this show is filmed in this bachelor pad, and everyone, of course, treated the place great and put everything exactly back where it went. And, after the show finished filming, right?
Yeah, that's as I would imagine it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
For this. Yeah. So, of course, just kidding. After the second season of the show, the owner of this $9 million home, Ray Saranavard, claimed that there was almost $400,000 in damage done to his Encino mansion.
Oh, my gosh. That's worse than Ramona and Dorinda's Greystone Manor.
Bluestone Manor, yeah.
Remember when she wrecked the room?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Way worse.
Quite a bit worse. So this guy claims that Mindless Entertainment, who produces the show, said that, we'll take care of the house. Don't worry about it. We'll use it. And we'll also he wanted them to get $3 million of liability insurance on the house, just in case. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So it turns out things got a little wild. According to Bret, during his time on the show, he said there was so much stuff that happened that they couldn't even show. He even said that basically it was like a 4-night party, like one day turned into the next, turned into the next, turned into the next. How exhausting does that sound?
Yeah, something tells me they didn't need to sleep.
No, nobody needed to sleep there. There was a lot going on.
Yeah. Something was fueling that 4-day fest.
Yes. So basically, everything's damaged. According to the owner, things are removed. There's holes in the walls. There's holes in the ceilings. Doors are removed. Plants are dead or dying. And also, they repainted the entire interior of the house. So, a few things went on. So, Mindless Entertainment says, hey, you know what? We were only there certain hours. We don't know what Bret was doing the rest of the time when we weren't filming, so we can't be held responsible for all this. And the owner was like, perfect. I'm adding Bret Michaels to this suit.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So he gets added onto the lawsuit. And while it doesn't say what happened with the lawsuit, it does mention that Mindless Entertainment did not get that $3 million in insurance that they said they would. Which, doesn't that feel like rule number 1 in filming an early 2000s reality show on VH?
Have you ever had that moment when you're leaving the house and you wonder, did I lock the door? Or worse yet, you start spiraling and you imagine all the what ifs. I used to feel that way all the time, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I heard about a break-in just a few blocks away that I realized I needed to really step up my home security game. And now I can spiral about the what ifs on things that don't matter, like reality stars, instead of the what ifs of home security. We've had Simply Safe protecting our house for the last few years now, and it's a total game changer. With Simply Safe's Fast Protect monitoring, I know within 5 seconds if something's actually up, and the lifeguards can actually speak to intruders to stop them. That's faster than a reality TV star can throw a drink. One of the things I really love the most is you're not locked into some over-the-top 90-day fiancé level contract drama. Simply Safe is actually affordable as well, less than $1 a day with no hidden fees, so it's easy to love. It's no wonder they've been named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News and World Report for 5 years running. Whether you want to install it yourself, it really takes less than an hour, or have a professional handle it, Simply Safe is as easy as flipping channels between Chimp Crazy and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So why wait for the drama to happen? Get Simply Safe and know your home is covered just like I did. Protect your home with 50% off a new Simply Safe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/criminality. That's simplysafe.com/criminality. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Achieving a gorgeous grin from home isn't a total mystery with Bite Clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all of your sleuthing friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Bite Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Which one, like, you get all the insurance.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And not for nothing, not to blame the victim here, but has he ever heard the phrase like, you really rock starred that room? Like, what did he think was going to happen in that space?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Bret is a little older now and his jeans fit a little worse. And maybe he thought he was going to slow the party down a little. I don't know.
Old habits die hard. I don't know.
I know. So back to Rock of Love. So drinks are flowing. Rebekah, have you ever actually seen Rock of Love? Did you watch it? I
surely have not.
No. Okay. It is. I watched an episode just to kind of prepare myself for this, just to bring me back to those days. And oh my gosh, you know how we talk about shows that could come back and make a reboot? They will never, ever,
this is not one of
ever
those.
reboot this show. The things I heard on this show, the things that were talked about, it was just the girls calling each other SLUTs and all kinds of, it was just like, it's just such a weird thing. Yes, it's a weird thing to hear in 2021. Like just spoken so freely. And of course, the way Bret talks about the women is also like a lot to take. Yeah, it's just not like, it's not going to fly in 2021. So ultimately, though, on the show, a woman by the name of Jess becomes Bret's girlfriend, which is the prize. Your prize is to become
that you're
his
dating.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, can you imagine how ticked would you be if you went home with Bandana Man and you really give me some cash? I need cash for this.
I know. No money prize or at least a wedding.
No. I like that we think a wedding is a good thing in this situation.
Well, at The Bachelor, they don't get any money. They really are doing it for the 15 minutes of fame, let's be real, and the potential maybe wedding.
They're doing it for the tummy tea on Instagram. I am convinced of that. So Jess goes on to say that she only received one phone call from Bret after they left the mansion. And technically it was his manager that called her and then passed the phone to Bret. And he said, hey, will you come to the reunion? And then later she gets one other call only from the manager who said, could you please just return Bret's cowboy hat that he let you have?
Oh my gosh, that's so messed up.
But like, what's going on in your head that you're like, you know what? We've shamed this girl. We've shown her all over TV. You're never going to have anything to do with her. We should see about that cowboy hat.
Yeah, it's irreplaceable, surely.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I can't even imagine the things that hat has seen. So later, though, it's really revealed throughout his time on these shows that Bret was likely still seeing the mother of his children. During this time, it was basically all for show, and he really didn't have any intention of seeing any of these women. He thought it would be a cool concept, but they were very off and on, so it's not too surprising. So after Rock of Love and Rock of Love Bus, there were many follow-up shows to these, and this stars several people from the franchise. I'm doing air quotes, hardcore there, including I Love Money and the infamous Megan Wants a Millionaire. Do you know anything about that one? Yeah.
I do know about that one.
So that one did it ever air, or maybe a couple episodes did?
I feel like it got pulled before it even aired. I can't remember.
I think so. Because the guy who ended up being a killer, he was also on I Love Money. I know one of them we saw a couple episodes, and I don't remember if it was Megan Wants a Millionaire.
I don't remember either. That story comes up when researching for this show.
Right?
I'm sure I read that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So Megan was on, I think, Bret's second season or his third season. I can't remember which. They give her a spinoff and she wants to marry a millionaire. A guy goes on there and he ends up killing his girlfriend. And there was a manhunt in Canada and he ends up taking his life. So very, very dark. And so we won't be talking about that one.
But weird that it's connected.
It is. Honestly, you can get 3 connections. I can get from here to the Kardashians in, I think, five spots.
So impressive.
It is. I'm impressed with myself. It's not a talent I should brag about. But I'm about to blow your mind with this next piece of information. I don't know how. We have to be able to share this somehow, but you're going to have to watch this.
Okay.
In 2000s, Bret spent much of his time on television, for better or worse, right? Between Rock of Love and his time on Celebrity Apprentice, you'd think he only really did reality TV. But Bret Michaels was an actor for a while. He was an actor. Oh, Rebekah, the things I'm going to teach you right now. Everyone take a collective breath.
Okay.
In the 90s, he and Denise Richards' ex-husband, Charlie Sheen, started a production company called Sheen Michaels.
Stop.
No. They went on to produce several films together, including one with the most amazing trailer of all time called A Letter from Death Row, which Bret Michaels directed, wrote, starred in.
No.
And I'd love for you to check out this trailer, Rebekah. It's like a minute and a half, so I don't think we'll be able to play all of that, but Rebekah,
it would be my honor.
It has truly changed my life. And just know when you're watching this trailer, every time you say, wait, who is that guy? It's Bret Michaels. He
Forget Kevin Bacon. Everything could be 6 degrees of Charlie Sheen.
Right? I know. Martin Sheen is in this.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to send you that video all week long.
I applaud your restraint. I feel like when you found that, I can only imagine what it was like coming across that in the middle of your research, like the excitement and the surprise at such a gem as this, that has like every cinematic trope in the book. Like
all of them.
It's so bad and so good and has 2 Sheens.
2 Sheens, both Sheens. We made the Sheens. Emilio Estevez, not available.
How did this get made and funded? I mean, they funded it. They produced it.
You know what? The podcast, How Did This Get Made? We need to suggest this to them because there's no way this is not something that they need to dissect. Bret Michaels screaming in the courtroom at the judge. Yeah.
Oh, judge.
I didn't kill
Listen
her.
to me, judge.
Yeah, listen to me, judge. That's the real part. Oh, but then parts of the trailer, he's wearing a bandana, like going to court and parts of it.
And there's close-ups of his eyes and him in the bandana, like these like dramatic, attempting to be dramatic shots. That is rich.
It is so good.
Oh my gosh.
It truly made it all worth it. If nobody sees anything else, please, we will have to share this somehow because it is truly part of pop culture that we should all learn and respect because it's a part of our collective history.
It is, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it reveals why he was on so many reality shows. Like he wanted to be an actor.
Oh my gosh.
I think he thought this was like his like Oscar performance. Like, I know I'm going to pivot and this will be my breakout.
1,000,000%. He is the Tobias Funke of reality stars.
Wow.
I love it so much. Thank you for allowing me to share that. So as we can see, though, Bret is a man of many talents, right? He's done it all from rock and roll to movies to reality to a celebrity sex tape.
Oh, wow. Of course he
Didn't
did.
know. Yeah. Before
No.
the cloud, celebrity sex tapes were stored somewhere more trusty, like VHS tapes. According to Bret Michaels, back when he and Pam Anderson were a couple, did you even remember they were a couple?
No.
The couple made a sex tape together. Bret said he owned a copy, Pam owned a copy. So imagine his surprise when their fornication film was available all over Al Gore's internet. He was livid, as was Pamela, and they would end up receiving a 7-figure sum from the porn company, get ready for this name, Internet Entertainment Group.
Oh, geez.
I know. I expected more from them, to be quite honest.
They were trying to keep a low profile.
100%. There's an LLC in there somewhere.
For
And
sure.
they said that, along with the 7-figure settlement, they destroyed all the copies of the tape that they had access to. Unlike the sex tape that Pamela was in with her former husband, Tommy Lee, this one never really reached the masses because Pamela and Bret's attorney really put the kibosh on the whole thing right away. And they filed the lawsuit against the company for $90 million.
Whoa.
Yes. So while Bret has been involved in some thorny situations, the real lawsuit I want to talk about today was one that I knew existed, but I really didn't know a lot about. Back in 2009, the Broadway show Rock of Ages was a huge hit.
Yeah, I remember that. I never saw it, but
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what is your relationship? Are you a big Broadway fan, big Broadway plays? Is that your thing?
yes and no. Like, I live in New York, and my kids, we would take kids to shows.
Right.
It just seems like something we should do. As I got older, I got more comfortable being a fan of musicals. For a long time, I was like, I hate musicals.
Right.
I like plays. And then I realized that wasn't true. I really, really like musicals. And I think I was like jealous and I wanted to like be in them. And I actually think for the most part, they're amazing. There's ones I don't care about seeing. But for the most part, I'm very wowed by the Broadway.
Yeah.
And I never was interested in Rock of Ages. I do remember it was really popular and everybody was coming in to see it. Wasn't my thing.
Yeah. I can understand that. So the idea of Rock of Ages was you could tell me if I'm off on this, but the musical's kind of told through songs of 80s bands, mostly these glam metal, hair metal stuff. Yep. But interestingly enough, the song Rock of Ages by Def Leppard was not even included in the musical.
That seems weird, and like they might have something to say about that.
I know. I'm like, did they? I don't understand how they got away with doing that. I wonder if they got paid off to do that or how that worked, or if they were like, no, this is the name. We're just going for it. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But songs from bands like Twisted Sister, Styx, and Poison were included in this show, which is how we start this part of the story. Now, I've never seen Rock of Ages. I've also never wanted to, but some people have and freaking loved it. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the people at the Tonys were big fans, so much so that it was nominated for 5 Tonys in 2009, including Best Musical and Best Director in a Musical.
Wow.
Yeah, they ended up losing, but fun fact, the winner for Best Musical that year was, any guesses, 2009?
I'm terrible with the years. I don't know.
It's fine. I would have never guessed this, but it was Billy Elliot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that either. I heard it was great.
Yeah, I heard that one was great for sure. But back to Bret. Thanks to the Tony nomination, Bret and Poison would be invited on stage to sing Nothing But a Good Time, a song that's featured in Rock of Ages, along with the Broadway cast as part of the opening number for the Tonys on June 7th, 2009.
Cool.
Yeah, so Neil Patrick Harris, or NPH as, we lovingly refer to him as, he was the host that year. And as the band came out to sing the song, everything's going great, sounds great, CeCe DeVille isn't going crazy, it's all going right? Then as the number is coming to a close, this large sign comes down from the ceiling at the end of the song. Bret Michaels literally turns around to exit the stage behind him and walks face first into this thing, knocking him down. It reminds me of those old cartoons where they step on a rake and it hits them in the face.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to send you this link now as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's hard to deal with in real time, but eek.
Yeah, pretty rough. Neil Patrick Harris says at the end of it, it gives new meaning to the term headbanging whenever Bret literally just piles into it. And he kind of does a little bounce before, and I feel like that gave more momentum whenever he hit it. So the audience kind of half laughs, and, Neil Patrick Harris says, he's fine. Well, yes and no. Backstage, Bret was apparently in really good spirits. He'd been injured, suffered a broken nose, and busted lip that required 3 stitches. Oh. And you kind of think no harm, no foul. But according to Bret and his team, this accident nearly cost him his life. So fast forward a few months to April 12th, 2010. Bret's at home after having an emergency appendectomy. It's actually during the same time that his show, Bret, Life as I Know It, is being filmed. His longtime girlfriend's there, mother of his daughters / co-star in Letter from Death Row, Christy Gibson. And he says he hears what sounds like a gunshot going off next to his head.
Oh, no. Yeah,
he realizes there's no gun and the sound came from inside of his head. And so he tells his girlfriend he needs to go to the emergency room right away. So they rush to the hospital and doctors bring him in, and after running tests, realize that he's had a subarachnoid hemorrhage.
Oof, sounds bad.
Yes, and I'm hoping I said that right. This type of hemorrhage causes bleeding in the fluid-filled spaces that are around the base of your brain. Bret said by the time they arrived at the hospital, he's already slurring his words and asking the doctor if he's going to die, saying, please don't let my kids be here if I'm about to die. And luckily for Bret, though, he makes it through this really traumatic experience, but not without an immense amount of pain. And he even ended up having to go to a rehab facility 30 days after this hemorrhage. He was in the hospital for a while and almost died. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. We didn't hear much from Bret after this brain hemorrhage until March 26, 2011. That's the day that Bret filed a lawsuit against both CBS and Tony Award Productions, stating that the producers failed to give him any information on how to properly exit the stage at the end of his performance.
Oh.
Yeah, so according to this lawsuit, with the type of hemorrhage he had, one of the most common causes is a head trauma, which would line up to what happened to Bret at the Tonys. According to this suit, quote, through his sheer will to live to see his children grow up, he was able to survive this trauma, end quote. But Bret takes it even further and says that he specifically asked producers where he should stand, how he should exit after the performance, as well as where he should or shouldn't stand for the performance. And they simply told him, according to him, that whenever he's done, turn around and exit the stage. So the suit goes on to claim that Bret never knew the sign would be coming down from the ceiling or given any warning of the existence of the dangers it presented. He even said in the suit that producers basically said to him he missed his mark, which...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, after what he said, hearing, that they're saying that, it feels like two totally different things have happened. So almost a year later, in February of 2012, the defendants of the lawsuit actually filed a complaint against Bret. In it, CBS and Tony Award Productions and White Cherry Entertainment, Inc. said they weren't at fault, but they actually alluded to the possibility that the Rock of Ages musical could have some blame. Do I understand how exactly? Not really, but they said they were kind of all over the stage and everybody was doing their own thing. It's kind of what they alluded to, like, if you're going to blame us, there's other things that were going on. We weren't in control of the entire thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So here's a quote that I thought was super interesting regarding this whole thing. This comes from Bret's representatives. It says, quote, "After the injury, Michaels repeatedly attempt to resolve the matter amicably and out of court in an effort to avoid adding to the already substantial publicity surrounding the accident. The Tony Awards could have, but did not, take advantage of the standard broadcast delay to prevent the video from being transmitted. The incident became an internet mainstay and at one point was one of the 10 most viewed clips on YouTube." Yeah, the Tony Awards and its producers have yet to apologize to Michaels, let alone take responsibility for the severe injuries they caused. Instead, defendants have sought to point the blame first at Michaels himself and now at Rock of Ages. It's confusing, but it's kind of a he said situation here.
I don't like it.
No, but unfortunately for Bret, he did go on record back in June of 2009, the same month he had this injury, spoke to people.com, and he said he had zero plans to ever file a lawsuit. He said, quote, this is really would not have helped his case. Quote, "I want to make very clear to everybody that first and foremost, I was honored to be at the Tonys. I'd never done it before in all my life, and it's not something I thought I'd be on. I was really excited. There's no lawsuit. I'm not doing any of that. I'm taking the high road," end quote.
Okay, but maybe he was thinking, and that will be well received. This gesture of, sounds like he was looking for an apology and for them
That's all I think he was looking for.
Right?
Yeah.
Take some ownership of it. And so maybe he assumed that's what was going to happen.
Right. And to be fair, he said this 6 months before this brain hemorrhage. So he thinks...
Right. He's fine.
Yeah, I've hurt my nose. I've hurt my lip. It's been embarrassing, but I was so honored to be there, right?
I think that's a very generous response.
100%. So really, at the time, he had no idea how severe his injuries could have been. And I say could have been because his own neurologist came out in May of 2010 and said, quote, "I do not believe that a connection between this brain hemorrhage and the Tony Awards injury is a possibility at all."
What?
Yeah, he said too much time had passed for them to be related. He said, quote, "A hit in the head can cause a subacute hemorrhage, but it causes it immediately. If that had caused a problem that led to this hemorrhage, we would have seen a problem with the blood vessels," end quote. So that's his own doctor saying.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's not going to look great for you.
I'd get a second opinion.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Ultimately, though, the two sides come to some sort of an agreement, and the attorneys for both sides inform the court that they've all been able to reach a settlement agreement in principle, and we're working to finalize the terms. Of course, unlucky for us, the terms of the agreement are not known, but I bet that they're at least in the range of take my sex tape down dollars. So we're around there. And so
always a good amount to start with any negotiation.
Right. So about the end of the lawsuit, Bret's lawyer named Alex Weingarten said, quote, "We are pleased to announce that Bret Michaels has reached a settlement of the lawsuit concerning the injuries he sustained at and as a result of the 2009 Tony Awards. The terms of the settlement will not be made public. Mr. Michaels would like to thank his fans for their continued support," end quote. So since the accident, Bret stayed very busy. He's toured, he's recorded music, and whether you know Bret from Rock of Love or Celebrity Apprentice, The Masked Singer, or Sharknado 5, global swarming, you'll never forget the first time you asked yourself, is there anything under that freaking bandana? That's all I've got, Rebekah.
Yes, the remnants of a head injury.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was good. That was like that was a fun one. if I can say that. I know there were injuries and like probably some broken hearts along the way that we didn't talk about. But like, you know, a rock star being on all these shows, like that's a great, I had no
Nostalgic.
idea of any of this. Like of him, barely knew about Poison. I mean, I know Poison, but clearly not much. So this was
I know.
educational from top to bottom for me.
Yeah. Well, there's so much in lawsuits and stuff. And I don't feel like he was like super, I want to sue everybody kind of person, but I think he fell into some situations where, you know, he felt that he had to defend himself. But he seemed like he likes to be on stage. He likes to be in front
Clearly.
of people.
He's a
He
performer.
loves his kids. Yeah. And seems like he's a really good dad. And I don't know, he's been through a lot in his life and he seems to be a fighter. He's talked about that before. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. We didn't go too much into the Rock of Love part of it, but there's no real beginning and end to that. It's just constant chaos. Just imagine chaos, just hours and hours and hours of it and some nip slips. That's what it is. And just
Sounds
saying,
exhausting.
no one threatened me with a good time. That's
And
one of the
what
big quotes
network
from there.
aired that show?
VH1.
Oh, okay.
That was
yeah,
when
that makes it was like the Rock and Roll Bachelor.
Yep.
That makes total sense. Okay.
it was during that time. Surreal Life, all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the story of Bret Michaels,
Wow.
whatever comes next.
So many colons, so little time. It's really, really good.
Yay, I'm glad. So, Rebekah, do you want to talk about what we're watching this week?
I do.
Okay.
I really, really do. So I say this one with hesitation,
Okay.
but because I put Cruel Summer out there, I think I can also admit to watching this.
Okay. Cruel Summer, by the way, I started it, loved it, watched the whole thing, binged it. I have to, those kind of shows I want to watch, but I want to wait until I can watch all of them. I don't
Okay.
like the week to week stuff. I did that with Breaking Bad. I started episode 1, season 1 from the beginning. I had to wait a whole season to find out if Jesse shot somebody. And there was a writer's strike in the middle of it. I've done my time. I
Cruel
will
and unusual,
only binge
yeah.
things.
Yeah, no, that's actually really wise. And I think that's maybe why that show lost momentum for me, was because I ended up having to wait and I'm not used to it and
yeah.
I don't like it. But there was a lot of conversation about that show and the ending on our Instagram
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well and Twitter. Okay, so my clues for you about the show, I just started watching, but it's not the first season. So I'm starting the new season, so that's a clue.
Okay.
You get a bonus clue.
Thank you.
I will tell you, it is very sexy.
Ooh.
Spain, high school.
Oh,
Do you see why I'm nervous?
I don't know how often I throw sexy and high school together, but you know, you do your own thing.
You'll get to know me more and more.
Rebekah, can you give me a network?
Netflix.
Ooh, Netflix.
Foreign language. It's subtitled.
Oh, I'm already lost. I already have to. Well, actually, no, I watch everything with subtitles because I can't hear. What do you have? What is it? I have no idea. Is there any more clues? If it's subtitled, I don't know that I've seen it.
It's called Elite.
Oh,
Have
wait.
you
I've
seen anything for it?
I know I've seen that there's a new season of Elite. That's all I know.
Okay, so I don't like to bring COVID up, though I feel like I do probably every week. It was March 2020. Things were not great in New York City. Like we literally, like the sky was falling is how it felt.
Right.
And I had to sleep in my office because had to quarantine from my husband. And so I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't get comfortable. And so I felt like I watched everything. And the next thing that popped up on Netflix was this Elite. And it's a story about these 1%er, super rich, super hot teenagers at a private school in Spain.
Okay.
But there's like a Muslim girl who doesn't fit in, and there's like the scholarship kid, and then there's the super wealthy kids, and then there's a murder mystery on top of it. So you know I'm hooked.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there's like lots of teenage shenanigans. And I just laid on my little air mattress and stayed up till the wee hours, like getting through all 3 seasons.
Okay.
And I've been just
Dedication.
waiting for season 4 ever since. It is so good,
Yeah.
but not suitable for work or for family or for people walking by in your household. Like watch it on your phone under a cover.
I feel like that's somehow so much worse.
I mean, maybe I'm overstating it. I'm just saying this is like not Cruel Summer. This is like, I mean, I don't know if they rate things. Do they rate like TV shows, not movies on Netflix? Like it would be NC-17. It would be,
Oh, okay. Oh.
But yeah, Elite. It's very good, but it is plot driven. I mean, there was like a murder and a cover up and, you know, family relationships and
I mean, you're
drugs
trying
and
to
mob. I'm not just there for the sexiness. I just led with that because I don't know. So
that's what got you hooked.
So
that's what it was.
Yeah, let's be real. So that's what I'm watching, for better or for worse.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm interested, I think. I don't know.
You don't have to watch it. I don't think you're going to watch it.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't feel like you sold it to me in a way that you want me to watch it. It's more in a like, here's
warning.
this thing I'm watching. Yeah, it feels more like, don't come down this hole with me.
Well,
Also,
I could have done it better. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
No,
I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
I didn't know if you wanted to sell me on it or if it was like some
No,
shows
I'm
I
not
watch
trying
and I
to.
don't want, like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just being honest about what I'm watching because the other things I'm watching would give away my research on the show. So I'm just,
okay, yeah.
this is what I
Can't do
had to
that.
share. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just here to tell the truth.
It's like Mayor of Easttown, you're selling. Elite, you're
I'm just sharing.
sharing.
Yeah. But if anybody listening has watched or is watching and wants to talk about it with me, you can, you know, DM me on
Yeah.
Instagram at criminalityshow or, you know, my other handles.
Yeah.
How about you? What are you watching?
So mine is a few years old, but it's one of those shows that I go back to because it's comfortable and fun. And we
those.
talk about this all the time. Yeah. So this show is TBS, or it was TBS.
Okay.
All right. And the mom, okay, the blonde from Cruel Summers, I already forget their names as soon as it's over. The blonde girl who
Kate
is
Wallace.
a focus. Yes. Her mom in the show is a star on this show.
Really? Can't think of her being in anything else. Okay.
She was in Joey. Remember?
Oh.
Yeah, he had a show for a while. They dated for a while. More nonsense you didn't need to know. And the last one is Portia de Rossi stars in it.
Obviously not Arrested Development.
No, it was after Arrested Development.
I don't know. I can't think of any show with her.
Right.
But I'll probably know it when you say it. What is it?
Better Off Ted.
Oh, I've heard of that. I don't even know what it's about.
It's so fun. So it's about this company where they do lots of research, science experiments. So they're always like testing things and testing new products and stuff like that. And she's in it. There's Ted is in it. Portia de Rossi is the main boss. But it's this cute, very funny, very fast. I'm not going to be able to sell this. I want to sell this one to you, but I'm not doing a great job.
Well, science experiments isn't like
No.
That's not the hook.
No. By science experiments, I mean there's
Inventions?
Yeah, invention. It's more inventions like wacky things where things go wrong and then people have been tested on things or they try different things. They're like, here's how we make our workspaces better. And everyone gets a theme and they give this one poor girl a cat theme and she hates everything about cats. But like her whole, like they're like, no, but you're happy because now you have cats. She's like, I never liked cats. This isn't a thing. And different people have different things. I'm not selling this in the format in which I should. I feel like you're trying to get me back for Elite right now, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But
Am I trying to get you back, or are you trying to get me back?
You're trying to get me back because I didn't really jump on it.
I'm just here to tell the truth. I'm not finding my way into this show.
I'm going to have to just send you a clip because I can't get you there with the way I'm describing it. But just think funny, witty, cute. The scientists are really, really funny. Like their dynamic together is great, but it's fun. If you've watched Better Off Ted, you love Better Off Ted, but it only lasted 2 seasons and it was really, really good. And it's kind of like was it Pushing Daisies? That show that kind of had a little bit of a cult following after it was over. Similar to that in my heart.
Well,
and I'm the cult.
You
should be into it. Cult.
Say no more. Your sincerity is coming through. I will give it a try, and I mean that.
Okay, I'm still not trying Elite. Actually, I won't say that because 4 seasons of a show, I need that. That's what I need in my life.
Yeah, just watch it. Yeah, I would be really curious if you do watch it.
Okay, I will at least give it 1 episode. How about that?
Okay, fair deal.
Yes, when no one in my house is home. Okay, Rebekah, do you have clues for the next episode?
Okay, so I am in the research for the next episode. Very excited to share it with you and everybody. Here's the clues. Missouri, FBI, divorce.
What? The what?
Okay. I'm glad you don't know it right away.
Divorce. Wait, Missouri FBI divorce. Ooh, I am intrigued.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but not even an inkling of an idea of what's
I
going on.
kind of love that because you're smart and you also are getting to
What did
know
you
me.
say?
I said, you are smart.
Okay, thank you.
I can say it slower. I can say it faster. I can say it more.
I just like it on a loop.
Yeah. I feel like you're hard to stump. So cool.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sure I'll
very
regret
excited.
choosing it momentarily, but right now I'm in, and I think it's going to be good. It pulls in a lot of my interests.
Give some elite confidence with this.
I don't. My confidence is not elite. It's not elite level. It's unprofessional. What's the opposite of elite?
I don't know, not that smart.
General, like mass marketed. I don't know.
There you go.
It's bootleg. So
Okay, there we go. I'll take it. Well, that was that. That was this
that.
week. Yes. We'll be back in 2 more weeks, Rebekah, with a news story that you'll be sharing about the FBI, Missouri, and
A divorce.
Yes.
Yep. Can't
All right.
wait.
Not the show. All right. Well, have a great few weeks, everyone.
So long for now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Criminality. If you're enjoying the show, please head over to Apple Podcast or wherever you listen and give the show a rating and review. The reality is it would be a crime to keep your thoughts to yourself.
And come join the fun outside of the podcast and follow us on social media. We are at Criminality Show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Memes are welcome. We'll see you in 2 weeks with a new episode. Until then, you can catch my co-host Melissa on her weekly show, Moms and Murder.
And Rebekah Sebastian on her podcast, Dialogue, a true crime conversation. Don't forget, loving reality
Isn't a crime.